want to see improvement in your execution as a team, and then you want to see your parts get better. And Montrez is developing into a good passer, a better shooter. His last hurdle is obviously from the foul line. He's become a better low post player. He's blocking more shots of late, grabbing more defensive rebounds of late. Just the next thing he's got to improve on is free throw shooting. Their 50% shooter in that game made it free throws, and ours did not. And that plays a role. You know, we would have had a comfortable 15, 18-point lead in that first half if we made our free throws.
Given this is the longest season ever, given when you guys can start practice this year, is there a greater risk of burnout, and is things like the beard, that sort of thing, to keep things maybe a little more fun? Or
The beer thing is for fun.
yeah.
Like I can judge, you know, I know what I do as a coach. I can't speak for the players, but I'm not tired at all.
Yeah.
And so it hasn't been a long, matter of fact, this has gone by too fast for me. I wish it actually would slow down a little bit. I think it's because 8 days not playing and then suddenly 3 games, you know, I think it's more the schedule for that. But no, I think it's been good. These new rules have been great, really positive additions to college basketball.
You can tell in your players whether they're fresh or stale, generally, I mean, year to year?
We're having a great time.
Yeah.
You know, but I think winning does that. You know, you have your team's very close when you win, you're far apart when you lose. You know, so I haven't seen too many close teams that, you know, have 7 wins.
Coach, do you feel that even good teams get sort of bored this time of year with the way they're playing?
I can only speak for us, and we don't get bored. I mean, our practices are very lively. Our guys have a lot of fun in practice. We get very excited about playing the games right now. It's a great time of year. We love playing on the road. You know, the environment that we went into, you got to give Cincinnati a lot of credit. That was a great crowd. Lived on every possession. And we've been in that 3 times this year, you know, with Kentucky, Connecticut, and Cincinnati. And Cincinnati was about as tough an environment as we faced. And I think that because their team is so good defensively, you face that. But we, in the second half, really did a great job of executing offensively.
Do you still see 5 teams from this league making the NCAA tournament?
It's not what I see. I'm irrelevant, but I think if I was on the committee, I think I'll defer to Joe Lunardi. He sees 5 teams, so I'll say there's 5 teams getting in.
You mentioned earlier that Saturday's game was played kind of like Big East rules. Do you think that would favor your team down the stretch as we go forward?
We've won both ways. You know, it's the good thing about this basketball team is we can play slow and win, we can play fast and win. And that's a nice thing. You know, we haven't had too many close games, but we executed really well at the offensive end in the waning minutes of that game, and I think that speaks more to experience. I was really happy to see Russ pass the ball in crucial situations to create buckets, because he's more valuable doing that than he is scoring, like the last shot, because he gets so much attention. He's always going to be double teamed. Finding the open man is imperative, especially with the type of team we have.
Prior to Cincinnati, you said with the game on the line, you want the ball in Luke Hancock's hands. Well, that wasn't possible there. Is that a learning moment for the rest of your team to not have him there as a comfort when the game was on the line?
Very much so. If Montrez was out, or that we had to play a big period of the game without Russ, and Chris and Terry did an admirable job in that game. You know, you could see Terry grow in the UConn game, although he played a very good floor control type game. He didn't have a great game, and I think he learned from that night of that environment and grew from it and played a very good game against Cincinnati.
Is that the kind of game, the ending of that kind of game, kind of what you wanted to see at this point? I mean, when you've got the conference tournament coming up and knowing what you face in the NCAA tournament, how they respond?
I think any close game, any game on the road that you win in that environment. I mean, Cincinnati came in and won a great game here, and we went in and won a great game there. And, you know, we're going to see it at Memphis, and we're going to see it at SMU as well in our last 2 games. We're going to see unbelievable environments. Probably there'll be whiteouts, I would imagine. Every time we go, there's a whiteout. So it'll be interesting to see that type of environment. But our guys have been a great road team for a long time. a long time. They take great pride in that.
I think that was one of the first times you had Terry, Chris, and Russ on the floor together this year, and I know it was because of foul trouble. But do you kind of?
Before,
But in a late game situation, you know, in a close
Yeah.
game like that, do you like that option?
not necessarily, no. Terry, you can get by because he doesn't know the offenses that well from the 3 spot, but he was playing real well at that point. I thought he was a better option than some of the others that we could use. You know, Wayne was not playing real well, but came up with a big-time left-handed block shot. I mean, that was a great block. So we did a lot of really good things when you watch the film down the stretch. We did really a lot of smart things, a lot of really good things, made a lot of good plays at both ends of the floor, and that's really important.